Everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. We need to start with a story out of Pamlico County where a fatal crash happened recently Monday night. Highway Patrol says Elizabeth Tillman was driving east on Kershaw Road just before 8 p.m. when she went off the road. The 38-year-old Arapaho woman hit a mailbox and then a driveway culvert. Troopers say the vehicle overturned and Tillman's 14-year-old daughter, Lillian Tillman, was thrown from the car, dying at the scene. Now, she had been sitting in the front passenger seat, according to the Highway Patrol. Elizabeth Tillman was taken to Carolina East Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries. Troopers say no charges are expected at this time. And we also have an update to a story we brought to you earlier today of a child porn suspect. Now, we are learning that the suspect is a Crystal Coast emergency room doctor. Now, Pitt County deputies arrested Dr. Aaron Moulton yesterday. Warrants say that the 31-year-old Moulton had sexual content involving a child between the ages of 7 and 10. Warrants reveal that the offense happened in December of 2024 and say Moulton lives right outside of Greenville. Now, Moulton was charged with 2 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Carteret Healthcare says Moulton is employed by U.S. Acute Care and is an emergency medicine doctor. U.S. Acute Care confirmed he is an emergency physician with their group and that he has been removed from the schedule and placed on administrative leave. He was taken to the Pitt County Jail and posted a $150,000 bond. The doctor is scheduled to appear in court later on this afternoon. And now we do need to highlight your weather forecast while we continue to watch heavy rain showers off in the western half of our state. Not really seeing much in terms of rainfall across eastern North Carolina currently. In fact, we've got some sun breaks showing up across parts of the east. Here's what we've got, though, in the western half of the state. Multiple counties right now under a flash flood warning due to persistent heavy showers and downpours through the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, even extending eastward towards Interstate 73. Now, over the next few hours, that whole system is going to slowly try to inch its way eastward, but overall, it's not going to reach us. At least those heavy showers probably not going to be reaching us today. Tomorrow, though, a little bit more likely. It's tied to an area of low pressure that we'll dive a little bit deeper into coming up here within the next few minutes. But do again want to highlight air temperatures because those remain significantly below our seasonal average. Normally this time of year, we would anticipate seeing air temperatures in the upper 80s by the time we reach around noon. In the afternoon, we normally see the low 90s. Well, here we are today, and we still not only have the low 80s present, but even some areas in the upper 70s. Even mid-70s right now, closer to I-95, thanks to the cloud cover and, again, the breeze brought by the weak rain showers off towards Raleigh. Of course, those rain showers get heavier and heavier as you get closer to Charlotte. But a northeasterly breeze is doing a very good job of not only keeping our air temperatures low, but our humidity relatively low as well. Anytime we've got dew points in the 60s through the month of August, it is a good day. Normally, we would anticipate seeing dew points between around 75 to around 80 degrees. So the numbers you're seeing on your screen, although higher than yesterday, still point towards, again, a very comfortable air mass considering the time of year. Now let's talk about that area of low pressure that, again, is bringing about all of those heavy showers to Charlotte. Now, that was part of a stationary front, and that's why the whole system, again, probably isn't going to be moving a whole lot, even though that low pressure systems will show a little bit more movement, especially with that high pressure system slowly trying to push its way further and further eastward. That low you're seeing across the western half of the state will gradually inch its way closer to eastern North Carolina and through the east as we head into Thursday. That, of course, will lead to heavier rain showers and just more cloud cover and cooler air temperatures. So the tail end of this week, we're not going to be getting back into the low 90s until we get into next week. This system is going to be keeping us cooler than what we would normally see. Now, of course, while that is all fine and dandy, we do still need to focus on the tropics as they are starting to get active. We've got Tropical Storm Dexter that is moving away from eastern North Carolina. It did lead to high rip current threats from Hatteras northward yesterday. Rip current threats not quite as high today, but maximum sustained winds for that system still at 40 miles an hour. Now, for the other areas of concern, we focus right on back to the waters right off of our coast. The National Hurricane Center giving this blob and that X is kind of the right now where that area of low pressure is currently. A lot of the thunderstorms around it again are what's keeping our attention and keeping us concerned with that low. But the whole area, that whole zone in orange, again, very primed. It has a lot of potential energy, high sea surface temperatures that will help bring about tropical formation if, again, we can get the right wind currents going. That's more of a big if, especially with that frontal system set up right near the coast. But over the next 7 days has a medium chance of tropical development. That's a 40% chance. The area a little bit deeper in the Atlantic has a slightly higher chance of development over the next 7 days. But that is a system that is farther away and therefore less concerning, at least at this point. If that system does form, we would likely have at least 7 days before it showed any sort of major impact to eastern North Carolina, assuming the worst. Now, here's a look at your full 8-day forecast. 83 today, 84 tomorrow, back to 83 Thursday, and then we're into the low 80s for your Friday and Saturday thanks to the heavy rain showers and cloud cover that will be spread throughout eastern North Carolina. That's all brought about by that low pressure system and the fronts that will accompany that low. They're going to stall near the coast, and that's going to keep us cloudy and wet for your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll start to see a little bit more sunshine break out again on Sunday, and that will eventually lead to air temperatures climbing back into not only the mid to upper 80s, but even the low 90s by the time we reach Tuesday of next week. Well, that's all we have time for today's noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by Supreme Choice.